guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. All right, guys, it is. I was trying to say two things at the same time there, and it didn't come out, either one of them. Anyways, it is Friday night, and it is May 10th, and it's Mother's Day this Sunday. So if you forgot your mother, you better start thinking about it now. At least send her a card or give her a call on Mother's Day, and be thankful for her while you have her. I am very thankful for my mother, and I don't know. I can't even imagine what life will be once she's gone, because that will be my entire family that's gone at that point. And so I don't know. There's something extra special about the woman that gave birth to you. And I think there's always that very strong bond between mother and child. At least there should be, in ideal circumstances anyway. All right. Well, there's no Q post for tonight, but we do have Q-related news, as we always do. Sorry, I was testing out my sound here, making sure that it was good to go. And I think the consensus is that the settings that I have now are good for everyone. The only thing that someone mentioned that I do need to tweak is the intro. So I turned it down a bit, and I'll see if that kind of, smooths it out, the transition between that and me coming in. Because I know what it's like if somebody's settings are all off and it's loud and then it's soft and then, yeah. Anyway. All right then. Well, it's Friday night and I ain't got nobody. Yeah, I know. Everybody now collectively feel sorry for me. No, don't. Now, I wanted to tell you just briefly, like just this much chatting, and then I'm right into the news, man. I'm right on it. But I wanted to share with you just this little slice of reality in the life of a cat owner, or at least a cat owner of a cat like Sammy. And I'm going, every time I record, I always have a full glass of water just in case. And because you do get dry when you're talking. And so I'm in there and I've got this big jug of water. And so I'm wrestling that out of the fridge, and Sammy's, of course, trying to crawl into the fridge, and I'm pulling him back, and I'm trying to get a hold of the water, and I'm pulling him back, and the water's heavy, needs two arms. So I take the water over to the counter. Sammy jumps up. I put him down. He jumps up. I put him down. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Then take the cap off. He jumps up. He knocks the cap on the floor. I grab the cap from him. I put it back up. He jumps up and he knocks the cap on the floor. So I'm like, forget the cap. I'm going to pour my water. So I pour the water, and he jumps up and tries to drink out of the water. And I put him down. While I'm putting him down, I grab the cap. While I'm grabbing the cap, he jumps up, and what's he doing? He's drinking my water. So that is a little bit of slice of reality, and why it takes 5 times longer just to do the most simple task when you have a cat like Sammy. I do love him though. I have a codependent relationship with my cat, I think, and not sure what that's all about, but perhaps I need to seek some help professionally. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right, let's get right into the news, shall we? No, really, let's. Because what else is better to do on a Friday night except maybe have a date? It's all right. It's all right. I'm not bitter. Okay. Company co-founded by Nancy Pelosi's son charged with security fraud. Oh, well, now, isn't that something? I know none of you are surprised. I'm not trying to suggest that any of you are going to be gobsmacked by this, but I'm just saying. It's just one more thing. The Securities and Exchange Commission charged a company co-founded by Paul Pelosi Jr. with fraud on Wednesday after learning that 2 convicted criminals were running the business. Paul Pelosi Jr., the head of House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, was the president and chief operating officer of Natural Blue Resources, Inc., an investment company he co-founded that focuses on environmentally friendly ventures. The Security Exchange Commission charged 4 individuals with fraud, including former New Mexico Governor Tony Anaya, and suspended trading in the company's stock. Pelosi owned over 10 million shares in the company in 2009. Well, naturally she would. The Security Exchange Commission said Wednesday the company was secretly controlled by James E. Cohen and Joseph Corazzi, both of whom had previous fraud convictions. Corazzi violated federal securities law and was barred from acting as an officer or director of a public company, and Cohen was previously incarcerated for financial fraud. And don't try to tell me, and I know that none of you would argue this, but you know the liberals would say, well, that doesn't mean that he knew anything about their crimes in their past. Well, who hires two people to run their company without running a criminal background check? I'll tell you who. Nobody. Anyway, Cohen and Corazzi said that they were outside consultants, but according to the Security Exchange Commission, they actually controlled Natural Blue's business decisions without disclosing their past brushes with the law to investors. The pair made hundreds of thousands of dollars off the company. Cohen and Corazzi concealed their involvement through so-called consulting agreement, but their influence over the issuer spread much further, said Andrew J. Kresny, director of the Security Exchange Commission's Enforcement Division. Investors in Natural Blue had a right to know who was running the company behind the scenes. Oh, yes, they did. And if I had stock in that company, I would be absolutely irate. Seriously. So that's just the long and short of it. Let's come down here to the sum up. However, the Mountain View Telegraph cited Pelosi as Natural Blue's president last year. Oh, well. And Anaya with leading the company as chairman and CEO at this time. Pelosi and Natural Blue Resources could not be reached for comment. Well, naturally not. Anaya will be barred from participating in any penny stock company for at least 5 years and fined an amount to be determined. Later, Perry also settled with the Security Exchange Commission, agreeing to pay a $150,000 fine and permanently banned from serving as an officer or director of a public company and from participating in any offerings of penny stock. Well, that right there, penny stocks are notoriously volatile. Ask me, because I, about a little over a year ago, lost a little bit of money. Now, I don't have a lot of money in the stock market, but I do try to put it in safe things that will earn me a little bit of interest, a little more interest than I would earn normally in a bank. But I had invested in a penny stock that was, supposedly the cat's meow. And never again. All right, let's go back. And let's look at this. No, really, let's look at it. Well, oh, there it goes. All right. Who were the Mueller reports hired guns? Well, this should be interesting, no? Yeah, I think it will be interesting. And this is by Paul Sperry. And, I do trust his reporting from Real Clear Investigations. And this came out May 9th, yesterday. And I would have brought it to you yesterday had I recorded. But actually, I took the night off last night because they're just, I don't know. I was investigating some other rabbit trails, and there didn't seem to be a whole lot to bring you. So I decided to take the night off. Special Counsel Robert Mueller spent more than $732,000 on outside contractors, including private investigators and researchers, records show, but his office refuses to say who they were. While it's not unusual for special government offices to outsource for services such as computer support, Mueller also hired contractors to compile investigative reports and other information. So what is this saying? That Mueller perhaps was not the person that penned the Mueller report conclusions? I don't know. Let's read on. The arrangement has led congressional investigators, government watchdog groups, and others to speculate that the private investigators and researchers who worked for the special counsel's office might have included Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS, the private research firm that hired Steele to produce the Russian collusion dossier for the Clinton campaign. Yeah, it just gets, the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. It really does. The arrangement has, okay, I just read that, and I don't think you want me to read it again, so I'm just going to go on now. They suspect the dossier creators may have been involved in Mueller's operation and even had a hand in his final report because a special counsel sent his team to London to meet with Steele within a few months of taking over the Russia collusion investigation in 2017. Also, Mueller-led prosecutor Andrew Weissman had shared, Mueller's lead prosecutor, Andrew Weissman, had shared information he received from Fusion with the media. Leak. He was a leaker. Nasty leaker. Raising additional suspicions, Mueller's report recycles the general allegations leveled in the dossier and, taking a page from earlier surveillance warrant applications in the Russia investigation, it cites as supporting evidence several articles, including one by Yahoo News that used Steele and Fusion as a source. Mueller even kept alive one of the dossier's most obscene accusations that Moscow had compromising tapes of Trump with Russian hookers by slipping it into a footnote on October 2016 text Trump lawyer Michael Cohen received from a Russian businessman who cryptically intimated a stopped flow of tapes from Russia. Lawyers for the businessman, Georgy, no hope of me ever being able to pronounce that name, who is actually a Georgian American, are demanding a retraction of the footnote, arguing Mueller omitted the part of his text where he said he did not believe the rumor about the tapes for which no evidence has ever surfaced. Do you think, really, I mean, just think about it logically. Every sex tape that has been done by anybody famous has been leaked somewhere. Now, you would think, with all the hatred towards Trump, that somewhere you could, if it existed, and of course we know it doesn't, because it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Because someone, somewhere would have leaked it, even on the dark web, somewhere you would be able to get a copy of that, if they existed, seriously. So that is just absolutely, yeah. And there's also the fact that I have heard that Trump is a germaphobe, and I just don't think that he would be sleeping with prostitutes because he doesn't need to. Anyway, and I know there's lots of people with beautiful wives that go out and hire prostitutes, but you know, this man has never had a shortage of women around him, and I just don't think that if he was so inclined, you know, the opportunity's always there for him. So I just don't believe that. Anyway, Mueller's reliance on the Steele dossier is raising questions because it occurred long after FBI Director James B. Comey described the dossier as salacious and unverified. U.S. Representative Devin Nunes, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, said the report should be renamed the Mueller dossier because he says it contains a lot of similar innuendo, even though Mueller failed to corroborate key allegations leveled in the dossier. Nunes said that his report twists key facts to put a collusion gloss on events. He also asserted that it selectively quotes from Trump campaign emails and omits exculpatory information in ways that cast the campaign's activities in the most sinister light. And there's two ways of making somebody look bad. Yes, you can, you know, make stuff up, but you can also take emails and other evidence and exclude that stuff that would give you the proper light and background to be able to view that email. So they remove anything from it that's exculpatory, and they only include that which would put the president in a negative light. Well, then he wasn't president yet, but Steele's 17-memo dossier alleged that the Trump campaign was involved in a well-developed conspiracy of cooperation with the Russian government to rig the 2016 presidential election in Trump's favor. It claimed this conspiracy was managed on the Trump side by campaign chairman Paul Manafort, who was using foreign policy advisor Carter Page and others as intermediaries. Specifically, the dossier accused Page of secretly meeting with Kremlin officials in July 2016 to hatch a plot to release dirt on Hillary Clinton, and it accused Manafort of being corrupted by Russian President Vladimir Putin through his puppets in the Ukraine. Likewise, Mueller's report focuses on Manafort and Page and whether they committed crimes by colluding with the Russian government officials with respect to the Russian government's efforts to interfere with the 2016 election. Though the investigation did not establish that Page coordinated with the Russian government, the Mueller report implies that there may be a kernel of truth to the dossier's charges. In July 2016, campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page traveled in his personal capacity to Moscow and gave the keynote address at the new economic school. According to the section on him, Page had lived and worked in Russia between 2003 and 2007. After returning to the United States, Page became acquainted with at least 2 Russian intelligence officers, one of whom was later charged in 2015 with conspiracy to act as an unregistered agent of Russia. Page's 2016 trip to Moscow and his advocacy for pro-Russian foreign policy drew media attention. Mueller's narrative continued. July 2016 was also the month WikiLeaks first released emails stolen by the GRU, Russian intelligence, from the DNC, and I don't believe that those emails were stolen by a Russian, personally. Just one moment. Page acknowledged that he understood that the individuals he had associated with were members of the Russian intelligence services, the report added, implying that Page, in the 2015 case referenced above, knowingly cavorted, I love that word, cavorted, with Russian spies, which echoes charges Steele made in his dossier. But federal court records make it clear that Page did not know that those men were Russian agents. Mueller also left out of his report a detailed Real Clear Investigations has previously reported, that Page was a cooperating witness in the case in question. That Page was a cooperating witness in the case in question, helping the FBI eventually put a Russian agent behind bars in 2016. Nor did Mueller see fit to include in his report another exculpatory detail revealed in Agent Gregory not sure how to pronounce that either, Mogahan's complaint and reported earlier by RCI, namely that the Russians privately referred to Page as an idiot who was unworthy of recruitment. Excluding such details is curious, given the Mueller report quotes from the same FBI complaint and cites it in its footnotes. Similarly, in its section dealing with Manafort, the Mueller report echoes the dossier's claim that the Trump campaign chairman was in cahoots with the Kremlin, even though Mueller never charged him with conspiring to collude with Russia. Interesting. That's very interesting, because if there was evidence, he would have been charged. We know that. The special prosecutor's report indicated that one of Manafort's Kremlin handlers was Konstantin Kilimnik. Manafort briefed Kilimnik on the state of the Trump campaign and Manafort's plan to win the election. It said that briefing encompassed the campaign's messaging and its internal polling data. It also included discussion of battleground states, which Manafort identified as Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota. Now, this is very, very long, and I want to get to the crux of it. You know something? I think I'm going to put the link to this in the description box below, because it's very long, but it's very important. It's jam-packed with very important information, and if you are so inclined, then you can go out and pull it up and read it all for yourself, because it would take me a very long time to read this, and I do have other things to go through. But let's Let's just read the conclusion here. Around the time Simpson began coordinated with Democratic investigators looking into Trump's bank accounts or bank records, Mueller subpoenaed Deutsche Bank for financial records for Manafort and other individuals affiliated with Trump. Simpson did not return calls and emails seeking comment. Founded by the journalist turned opposition researcher, Fusion has rehired Steele to continue his anti-Trump work with millions of dollars in left-wing funding from the Democracy Integrity Project. Isn't that like 1984 Newspeak, where, you know, the Ministry of Peace is really the War Department and so forth? Democracy Integrity. Yeah, interesting. So anyway, so they have rehired Steele. Interesting. The Democracy Integrity Project, a Washington-based nonprofit, started in 2017 by former FBI analyst Daniel Jones, who also worked for Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein. Well, naturally. In March 2017, Jones met with FBI agents to provide them data he collected from IT specialists he hired to analyze web traffic between servers maintained by the Trump Organization and a Russian bank mentioned in the dossier. The traffic turned out to be innocuous marketing emails or spam. Yeah. So there's a lot of really juicy nuggets in this, so I am going to put the link to it in the video description below. All right, let's go back. Now, I find this interesting because, you know, this is all we're hearing about from the Democrats, how they're trying to hide the Mueller report. But let's look at this report, White House. So this is from the White House. Not a single Democrat, not one, has looked at the less redacted Mueller report. And you know they can, right? They can go into a SCIF and read the less redacted Mueller report, read it at their leisure. But none of them have. Why is that? I mean, if they're so concerned about it. And then you've got one guy saying, well, how can we impeach him if we don't have the report? Unbelievable. These people are unbelievable. And I don't think I have to go and read all this. It's just basically mind-blowing. Not one. Now, honestly, if I really believed that there was something in that report that they were trying to hide, if I really truly, and I was a Democrat, which will never happen, but, well, it will when I die. Yeah. Anyway, it seems like all the dead people vote Democrat. I can't get over it. But anyway, so if I really was, you know, wanted to know, and I really thought that, I would just haul my white butt over to a SCIF and I would read it. That's what I'd do. Isn't that what anyone would do? If they truly believed that report was hiding something, that's exactly what I would do. But not one has. Not one. Tells me everything I need to know. Everything. All right, let's go back now. And let's look at this. No, really. Let's look at it. And let me close down a few of these things. All right. Now, fact. More women donated to Trump 2020 than any Democrat candidates for president. So let that sink in. You know, he's running against Hillary, who I think is a woman. And you would think that women would think, you know what, a woman's going to do a better job. I think I'm going to vote for Hillary because I think that Trump is, you know, against women and whatever. He's going to take us back 30 years. But no, more women donated to Trump 2020 than any Democrat candidates for president. It's been a long time dirty secret among the far left media that they refuse to admit to millions of women in America support President Trump. And why shouldn't they? Women of all races, religions, and socioeconomic backgrounds are thriving in the Trump economy in ways that are unheard of during the tepid Obama years. It was a woman who turned out for Trump far more than the 2016 Clinton campaign, though they would and thought they would. I'm sorry. It was women who turned out for Trump far more than the 2016 Clinton campaign thought they would. And in doing so, it was these women who helped Donald Trump become President Trump. It now appears that even more of those women are preparing to do so again in 2020. Women, I think, can see through. Well, I think men can too, to tell you the truth. But I think they can see through. I mean, the Democrats have become far too transparent in a negative way. It's like, it's like if you live in a glass house, don't throw stone. But if you live in a glass house, we don't want to see you undress and shower. And that's what it's like. They're doing that. That's exactly. Oh my gosh, I'm turning into Nancy Pelosi. Anyway, that's exactly what they're doing. It's like they're transparent, but we're seeing the wrong things. There's some things you just don't want to see. Like, for example, do you want to see Nadler getting dressed or getting in the shower? No, I don't think there's enough bleach in the world to get that out of my eyes. Okay, so here, President Trump, and you can see here, Tulsi Gabbard is on the bottom, Hickenlooper, John Delaney. Anyway, these are, but I think it's going to be another landslide. I really do. Now, let's get out of here and let's go back. All right. Now, I did touch on this before, but I want to hit it again because I can. That's why. Patrick Howley, Jerry Nadler, must recuse himself for Trump conflict of interest that benefits Nadler's son. Who is this by? Patrick Howley said, I appeared on Patriot Soapbox with Kerry Donovan to call for Democrat Congressman Jerry Nadler to recuse himself or be removed from all investigations pertaining to President Donald Trump after I exposed the fact that Nadler's son works for Gibson Dunn, the law firm suing Trump for various things. Gibson Dunn also represented Jim Acosta in his lawsuit against Trump. Nadler's subpoenas in Congress would benefit Gibson Dunn's clients. Yeah, clear conflict of interest, and I wanted to hit on that again because it's important. So, let's go back now, and this just crossed my mind. I was reading Twitter earlier, and I came across a tweet by Cat Turd, and it was so funny. He said, what was it that he would be, I'm going to have to find it and bring it to you. He said, the last thing I'd want to come back as is Jerry Nadler's something. Anyway, I should have clipped it out for you because, I think my brain it's my brain on Pelosi, I guess. I don't know what's happening. Paul Joseph Watson, Microsoft is set to release a new version of Word that uses artificial intelligence to make your writing politically correct. So how do you feel about that? It's going to make sure that if you are composing something in Microsoft Word, which is pretty much what everybody uses, right? I've never used anything else except years and years and years and years and years ago. But anyway, yeah. So if you're penning something, it's going to, tell you if you make a politically incorrect statement in your writing. Yeah. Big Brother takes over Microsoft Word. There you go. All right. Now let me see here. Let's look at this. VP Pence wants Omar removed from House Foreign Affairs Committee. That's a start. My question is, with all the vitriolic speech, why hasn't this been done already? I would like to know that. I don't know how this woman is remaining in Congress when she is so anti-American. Um, I mean, I know that in her district it's mostly of one ideology and that they back her on that, but I just can't believe that she is so openly anti-American. So Pence is calling for Omar to be removed from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Yeah, that's like having her on that committee, like honestly, like a wolf guarding your sandwich. But anyway, now let's see what's up here. This this call, I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm asking you to forgive me in advance of even showing you this, okay? It was just that the headline grabbed my attention, and I think you'll see why. Forgive me though, please, have a little mercy on me. U.S. Treasury to accuse Vietnam of manipulating its dong. Goodness gracious. I'm just saying. You see a headline like that and it yells at you that everyone else needs to see this. So yeah, so the U.S. Treasury is accusing Vietnam of manipulating their dong. I hate when that happens. I really do. I'd like to know how they knew that they were manipulating their dong in the first place. And it's their dong if they want to manipulate it, right? That's how I feel. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I wasn't going to read the article to you or anything. I just, wanted you to know. It's important. It's important you know these things because, someday you'll thank me. You'll be at a really boring party and some of these things that I bring you will come out. And people will think, well, what a fascinating person. Really. Try it. I mean, as long as the party that you're at, they're kind of open-minded about things. Like, not a Democrat party. Don't do that. Okay. Now, look at this. No, really, look. California Dems legalizing Soviet-style reporting of legal gun-owning coworkers. Yeah, so let's say you got a morning job working at McDonald's, like you're retired and there's a lot of people that do that for benefits and whatever. So, and all your coworkers, they happen to know that you have a gun for protection that you legally own, but they report you. Hello? Doesn't make for a very good work relationship either, if you know that your workers are tattling. A little over a year ago, I left one of the most beautiful places on earth, California, because the Democrats running the state were even worse than the Democrats running various other states and municipalities throughout America. I wrote a farewell post here titled, Dear California, Call Me When the Commies Leave, in which I chronicled many of the problems with the Democratic supermajority in the California legislature. Many think I use the term commie flippantly, but I assure you that is not the case. When I call someone a commie, he or she is acting like a commie. One thing I never doubted for a moment was the Democrats running the Golden State would continue to prove worthy of that description. And here it says this from guns.com. The California Assembly on Monday advanced a bill to add school faculty, employers, and co-workers to the list of people who can ask a judge to take away someone's guns. So if you're mad at Sally Sue over there because she doesn't make as many burgers as you do, then you can go to a judge and ask them to take her guns away. And if they ask you why, you can say, I don't know what you could say, but you could make something up. Seriously, no, I mean, this is scary. I mean, really, this is scary. I mean, if you are legally a gun owner, perhaps somebody in mental health, like a psychiatrist or psychologist or something, I think that they should be able to go to a judge and say, this person is a harm to themselves or a harm to others. that is a little different. Maybe a school, I don't know, university counselor, I don't know. But there should be some people that could take away someone's guns in cases of, them being a harm to themselves or others. But really, coworkers, I don't think so. Come on. Employers? Nah. Okay. So there you go. Anyway, welcome to the slipperiest of slopes, law-abiding citizens of America. And it says more from guns.com. The measure, AB 61, passed the Assembly in a Democratic-heavy 54-16 vote and now heads to the state Senate. It would greatly expand who can file for gun violence restraining order in the state under California's so-called red flag law. Adopted in 2014, the current law allows the seizure of firearms for up to 21 days from an otherwise legal gun owner who is believed to pose a significant danger. This initial order could be extended for as long as a year if the situation warrants, while filing a false petition is a misdemeanor offense. As it stands, just law enforcement and immediate family can seek such an order. AB 61 would expand this to include school employees, such as guidance counselors and teachers, as well as employers and co-workers of a subject. I just see, this is leaving it open to rampant abuse. What this is doing is taking an already awful law and making it downright creepy for any of us who are still attracted to being American because of all the freedom and stuff. Now your disgruntled coworker or stuck in a rut boss can report you for having a red flag or something. One doesn't have to be a champion of the Second Amendment to find this disturbing. Of course, the anti-gun people won't find it objectionable. Those of us who have actually read a history book or two know how the story ends. However, they'll encourage government overreach until it reaches them. California has become a nightmare, and even I wasn't aware of how much. So until I had extricated myself and was viewing the goings on there from the perspective of a much freer place. Yeah. I think California is literally one of the most beautiful places on earth, but I would not want to live there exactly for the reasons that she states here. So let's go back and see what other trouble we can get into. I can't remember what this is, which could be dangerous or not. I think I know now. Oh, yes. Okay, let me apologize in advance again, all right? I have to play it for you, okay? I do. I have to play it for you because, well, you might not thank me, but just give a listen. Let me know if you can figure out what she's talking about.
Build next week. This is this week. One of them would further stop junk plans that can discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions, which I mentioned. Now this is a further strengthening of that legislation. The Trump administration sabotaged once again of enrollment outreach and help states set up their own marketplaces. As we prepare to celebrate Mother's Day, we're continuing to fight and the tragedy of maternal deaths or die from pregnancy-related complications, I guess is the word I'm looking for. In January, the House passed a strong emergency. The Democratic House passed a strong emergency disaster relief bill specifically for Midwest flood relief. And it many people do. They are patriotically, not passionately or not politically or in any way going forward, following the facts. Even the Republicans had to go to the president and say, it's over. So I support the path that our chairmen are on, that they are here because they're anti-governance of any governance role in addressing climate change, addressing the epidemic gun violence in our country, to name just two. And we will go forward with that.
I'm Kyle Olson. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos just like this, subscribe right here.
I don't think we do. I really don't think we do. But I just wanted to show you that because I happen to feel that, and I know we all have little brain freezes at times, and we search for the right word, and we can't express ourselves to the full extent of what we hope we could. But come on, this is scary. I don't know. I don't think that she didn't look drunk to me. To me, that looks like beginning stage Alzheimer's, what have you. But anyway, you can weigh in the comments below. Not literally weigh in. Women hate that. Seriously. All right, and I can't remember what this is, but I bet it's good. Because why would I bring you bad stuff? Really? Thailand manipulating its dong. Wow. Former intelligence analyst charged with leaking classified docs to reporter. Interesting. A former intelligence analyst for the National Security Agency and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency was arrested Thursday morning and charged with providing classified information and documents to a reporter. Former airman Daniel Everett Hale, 31, of Nashville, Tennessee, is scheduled to make his initial appearance in federal court later Thursday, the Justice Department said. He is accused, in part, of printing 36 documents from his NGA computer in 2014, including 23 unrelated to his duties at the agency, and providing at least 17 to the reporter and/or the reporter's online news outlet, which published the documents in whole or in part. 11 of the published documents were classified as top secret or secret and marked as such. The indictment of Hale comes amid a spate of court cases the Justice Department has opened against alleged government leakers, ranging from charges against 2 individuals who allegedly passed internal banking information to news outlets and others, and to high-profile arrest of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange last month following his indictment for conspiracy to commit a computer crime. Some of the cases have prompted questions over press freedom and furthered critics' concerns over the Trump administration's response to damaging news stories. Hale first met the reporter in April 2013 at a Washington, D.C. bookstore while he was working as a cleared defense contractor at NGA. According to the indictment, he messaged a friend saying that the reporter wanted him to talk about working with drones at a documentary screening. The indictment stated Hale and the reporter continued communicating via an encrypted messaging system. In the evidence, according to the indictment, was found on Hale's home computer and 2 thumb drives, and his cell phone contact list included the reporter's contact information. One of the thumb drives contained Tor software and Tails operating system, which the reporter's online news outlet wrote about in instructions for readers to anonymously leak documents to them. The 11 classified documents that were published by the reporter's online news outlet and later in a book included PowerPoint presentations on military and counter-terrorism operations and a document describing a military campaign targeting Al-Qaeda overseas. The indictment does not name the reporter or news organization, but information included in the document appears to refer to Jeremy Scahill, a co-founder of the investigative news outlet The Intercept. In a statement, The Intercept editor-in-chief said she would not comment on matters relating to the identity of anonymous sources, but emphasized the significance of the leaked documents that the paper had reported on. These documents detailed a secret, unaccountable process for targeting and killing people around the world, including U.S. citizens, through drone strikes. They are of vital public importance, and activity related to their disclosure is protected by the First Amendment, Betsy Reed said. The alleged whistleblower faces up to 50 years in prison. No one has ever been held accountable for killing civilians in drone strikes, Reed said. Scahill referred CNN to The Intercept for comment. So, it says former FBI agent Terry Albury was also sentenced last year to 4 years in prison, stemming from charges that he leaked information about the FBI's recruiting work to The Intercept. Hale faces 5 charges, including obtaining national defense information, retention and transmission of national defense information, causing the communication of national defense information, disclosure of classified communications, intelligence information, and theft of government property. Each of the 5 counts carry a maximum of 10 years. Now, I think this is interesting for a couple reasons, because it shows that the tolerance for this type of thing has been lowered significantly, and I think that is probably because of everything that has happened surrounding Trump. So this to me is evidence that they are cracking down, they are getting rid of the leaks, which is exactly what they said they were going to do. They said they were going to track down and eliminate leaks. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. Interesting that we now have a president that actually does what he says he was going to do. That's unusual. So anyway, let's go back here. I'm going to stop soon because I don't want this to get too long, and I do have other things to bring you, which I would like to do. So yeah, this too. This is kind of fresh off the press, so I'm gonna include this as well. This is from Lisa Mae Crowley, and she is responding to a tweet by the Justice Department, and yes, it is the real Justice Department. Attorney General William P. Barr announces Edward O'Callaghan as acting Deputy Attorney General. Okay, well, I know you're saying so. Well, on May 22nd of 2018, there was a Q drop. It was drop 1439, and it said the following: "Who is Ed O'Callaghan?" And then, in quotations, "acting." And then, in kill brackets, Ed. And here it's Ed or Edward O'Callaghan, D-class, pain, enjoy the show. So I think too that, you know how future proofs past, we say that time and time and time again, but that we keep seeing this. This is a year, almost a year to the date, not quite, but that's a year ago he wrote that. How did he know? How did Q know? Seriously. I mean, that was a year ago. And if this is just some LARP, which people keep claiming it is, or some big conspiracy theory, and that its followers are crazy, then how on earth did this person know? Or are they just gifted that way? You know, they could see the future. Anyway, who is Ed O'Callaghan? Acting. So they got it right, that they are the acting Deputy Attorney General, and that's like a year later, and they, whoever Q is, and we know that Q is probably a team, but they got it right. Who is Ed O'Callaghan? Acting, Ed. Now, this is what I think this is saying, is that after that comes the declassification, then the pain, enjoy the show. So that's how I would read that, but I just think that is absolutely mind-blowing. All right, and this from government, well, I think I'm going to wait on that, because I think, yeah, I do think that I'm going to come back and do another video, because I've got more stuff to bring, but I want to split it up, because some people find that longer videos are tiresome, and I can understand that. Absolutely. So I'm going to end it there. I'm going to get this uploaded, and I will be back with another video. How do you like that? I hope you'll come back and join me, because it gets lonely here. You know, it's Friday night, and I ain't got nobody. So it sure would be nice if you came back. It would also be nice if you liked and subscribed. But, you know, it's all right if you don't want to. It's okay. Don't worry about me. Hope to see you soon.